welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you. Like at the end of the day, I might have the whole family here because we did your brother.
Yeah.
The indomitable hound from burpee hell spirit that he had that just made that happen, and and you went into sports too, man.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that, or is it like, was it something that came by itself? Like, because a lot of people, like, this is the weirdest thing. But I talked to what was it, Ruffles? We had on podcast last time, and I said, "Why did you open the gym?" And his first natural answer was like, "Wasn't doing anything." It's amazing. There is a whole reason behind it. There's a whole explanation. Not everything has a reason, but maybe in your case you do. Like,
I gotta credit my brother a lot because he was a very athletic kid. Mm-hmm. He did lots with sports and stuff, and I was the opposite. Like, I would sit in my room, play with Legos the whole day. Like, I didn't like playing outside.
To be fair, Legos are awesome.
Oh, Legos are, hell yeah.
Maybe a little less sexy for this, sorry.
Yeah. But I was the book reading, Lego playing kid. He was the sporty guy. Mm-hmm. But he would always involve me when he was doing sports. So the only actual sports I played by myself was like basketball at 10 and 11.
All right.
Wasn't really my thing. So, but when I became older, he would kind of nudge on me and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be practicing to learn saltos, like flips and backflips and stuff like that." And he was like, "Come with me." I'd be like, "Okay." I would go with him to like this gym room he had, and we would be like flipping, like just doing saltos, backflips, like all this kind of shit.
It's like the most amazing things. Imagine somebody walks up to you and says, "We're doing flips.
Yeah.
Follow me if you want to flip."
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then like a year after, he was like, "Oh, I'm doing kickboxing now, so I'll train you a bit." So and I would train kickboxing like twice a week. And then half a year after, it was like, "Let's do some grappling also." And we also did some grappling.
Oh, cool.
And then a year after that, it was like, "Come to the gym." And I started gymming with him, like exercising in the gym. And by then I was 18 and I went to find my own kickboxing gym because I really wanted to do Muay Thai because I like the idea from it. Yeah. So I went to Vos Gym, which was then still in the centrum of Amsterdam. It was like this really old building, and then up in the top in the back there was like this dojo.
Let me tell you, just you started first. Let me just cut that story so you can see how. I think it's always amazing because I traveled a lot and how small the world is. My father and uncle started their fighting in Vos Gym, which was then transferred to me like with these amazing stories of fights and stuff like that, which then turned me into like fighting. It's a curse.
Yeah,
it's a curse. The curse of Vos Gyms.
But it's amazing, man, because by then I started doing my own kind of thing. Right, was the first time I wasn't training with my brother in a really long time for any kinds of sports, and I kept doing that, and from then, you know, I kind of always did something. Then I went into just gymming when I started my physio stuff, and the more I started doing my physio stuff, the more I got interested in sports, because I was like, why do some people move very good? Why don't they? And this developed, and this got to the point where I have this deep interest right now in sports. And I think I gotta credit Miguel a lot for just starting that, just pulling me and going like, "No, we're gonna do something active. You're gonna get away from those Legos and you're gonna be doing flips. That's what we're gonna do."
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. But you need people like that in your life. I mean, there has to be a balance between these things. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I sometimes I feel jealous of people that can actually sit down and just have fun without having the necessity or like that how do I say this, like that have this capacity to sit down and just play with Legos and do the books and do everything like that, because I wish I did not have like some form of ADHD and this ridiculous need to
move,
choke people. Choke, yeah. Something sadomasochistic about it, so in a way. My man, so thank you, Miguel, for bringing you into this
definitely, because I'm very happy with where I'm at right now regarding my interest in sports and movement.
Yes.
I love, for example, watching you guys train, just from a movement perspective, looking what happens and why it happens, and I like to philosophize a bit about stuff like that. So
It is amazing. I mean, these are the little things that we touch in life that I believe are like, how to say, it's truth. Like martial arts will be truthful to you. Like if you're bad at it and you don't move right and you don't do it right, you get hurt. And then when we get hurt, we go to our best friends, which are the physiotherapists. Because I mean, one does not live without the other. One does not live without the other. It is not possible. We need you guys, and it's. I mean, I've noticed it. Like the stuff you did to my back, it's like almost 100% again. And the exercises, I feel the difference.
Yeah.
I feel the difference in me getting better. Like even talking about posture now. Let me posture up. Goddamn.
And that's the nice part, because we see each other so often in the gym, right? And I see you doing the exercises, and I can actually see you moving better in the exercises. If we're talking about posture, I see you getting better at finding that upright position.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you never slouch anymore, but it now means that you are aware of both positions instead of just having one as a default.
Conscious about the stuff.
Yeah. And you learn to move better. You get more body control.
Do you feel you have to do more sports to be more conscious about it? To have an idea? Or is it for you just looking and then you understand? Because there's people that are...
You mean, do I learn through doing or do I learn through watching?
Yes, basically that's what I'm... Yes. Would you say, like, if you see somebody doing a movement, would you go like, that is completely wrong, just naturally no?
Partially yes, because partially that's how I get schooled, right? That's where I get trained.
Oh, you learned that?
Yeah, we learn movement analysis.
I could have sworn that shit was like born with. The geniuses in this world that look at something and they look, oh, I know how to do that.
No, because that's, now you're talking about executing the movement. Right, if I for that I really need to do stuff. That's why I always tend to, if I coach somebody at something, I need to be able to do it.
Okay.
Not only because I need to teach it to somebody, but I need to be able to do it. Like, I want myself to be able to do that movement before I'm going to teach it to somebody else.
All right. Okay.
Because I get schooled in how you should teach movements to people. I get schooled in how do you notice if it goes wrong. But by experiencing it, I can coach better. Because I know what the common made mistakes are. I know that if somebody makes a certain mistake, sometimes you can coach them in different ways. And if you've experienced making the same mistake, you can talk from experience and teach from experience.
I get it. So if you do it yourself, you're like kind of better understanding of the...
I get a better understanding of what happens during a movement. Like I can feel it, because I tend to...
There's something about that. Actually doing this stuff that like I think because I can't watch you look in your brain, but you understand the how and the why and the what of a movement when you see it.
Yeah.
But when you do it, there's another thing happening right there that goes beyond that actually gives you a deeper understanding of it. But what is that deeper understanding?
Yeah. And I can only explain it as a feeling. It's a move, a certain movement. For me, it has a feeling. And I can't explain what that feeling is, but it just feels a certain way. So when I move, I look for those feelings.
For that, okay.
Yeah,
that
instead of thinking about, I need to have my knee in so many degrees, I need to have my ankle in so many degrees, I just look for the feeling that I get in the leg when I make a move like that.
Would you say that the part which like teaches you what it is and how it is actually only contributes to the feeling part, which is the most important part? Because if you can feel it and you understand it, then you can, like, the rest is just a helping way of understanding.
Yeah. So I would say that's the theoretical part, right? The
thinking process that brings you to the answer, which is the...
Yeah, exactly.
And then the feeling is like the final answer to this whole thing.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, the final answer would be giving somebody something to do and then see them actually improving.
Yeah.
Man, it's... Oh, God, I love physiotherapy.
Yeah, that's the most rewarding part of the job, I think, is meeting up with you afterwards and seeing, you tell me your complaints are less, you tell me your movements are better, you can feel yourself moving better.
Strength went up.
Yeah.
Strength went up, good. Only by posture, my strength went, which is like, when I say it out loud now, it's like in my head going like, of course, you're like having good posture, like it makes the whole difference.
And it's just that feedback afterwards, and mostly people understanding the why and the how and what they can do, how they get control over their body.
Oh yeah, shit. No, It's a beautiful thing, man. That's one of the only other like schools I would go back to for. I would actually sit down. There's a dude, he's like Lachlan Gilles in Jiu-Jitsu. He's a little bit famous. He's gotten very famous now lately because this guy is not big. I'm thinking, if I remember, at least under 80 kilos, probably under under 80 kilos. Like strong guy, but not big for anything like that. And he went to ADCC, which is the biggest competition in the world for grappling. I mean, there is, to my knowledge, not really anything bigger when it goes to grappling and submission. Right? Maybe if they make something up, or if it branches out, it will. It already is branching out. But he went there like with not really. He came from Australia, so you have to see like the amount of competition is limited there. To the people you already know, how many people in Australia fight each other. Like they're crazy over there. But I think about Australia and I think about Steve Irwin. That's mostly it. And where we in Europe and in the United States, you can have like multiple competition with multiple different people. It's much bigger and stuff like that. And he went there, and he's a physiotherapist, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not mistaken. He is a physiotherapist, right? And I'm looking at Chris right there.
That's a fact checker.
Fact checker. And he said, "Young Jamie," for like in Joe Rogan. That's my young Jamie right there. And the way he explains how to heel hook somebody, which is like breaking tendons, is so in depth. It's scary. It's like, so you grab the heel with the Australian accent to it, like the depth of the understanding he has in like destroying somebody's knee for life is amazing. And then he follows that up with explaining how to make it better after it's destroyed, which is literally playing in a way like devil's advocate, right? So, it's something I would really consider doing.
Yeah, you get even if you would just do some anatomy courses, just some basic anatomy courses, you would learn stuff about grappling and locks and shit, which would make you think like, okay, how can I make this more efficient?
Really?
And that's what he did basically, because obviously certain angles would be optimal, and if you know how to find those, you get locks. You get way quicker to what's possible with a joint.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That deadly guy. Like,
man,
did he do well?
Oh God, he did amazing. He fought like people that were super big, like my weight category, and plus being my weight category, they're really good at jiu-jitsu. They're very explosive and very strong.
Yeah.
And also very technical. But I think the advantage he had was knowledge in that sense, because he was just heel hooking them left and right. He got third place.
That's sick.
I mean, the first place guy is the world's best grappler ever.
Yeah, that's sick.
Like, and well, at the moment ever, he's definitely. And the second place guy was who took second place? Felipe Pena, right? No.
Wasn't Kanan?
Oh yeah, Kanan took second. Those two guys are just. One is full of steroids, and then, but you see, like at the point which they were, you know, he was like that good. He got third place at like weighing nothing.
That's sick. That's sick.
They were throwing around people that weighed 130 kilos in IDCC, throwing them, not like grappling them, throwing them. And he went in there and he destroyed. I mean, it's a powerful thing. Knowledge in that way is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
I was always going to ask you, like, if you see like these ACL tears and stuff like that, how truly bad is it? Is it something that you could? Will you ever be able to go back to 100%, like pre-tear, or is it something you're going to have to deal with in your life? Going like, you torn, that's it.
Depends on how you handle it, because if you would tear your ACL, it would probably take you a few months before you can even get surgery. Maybe if you tell them, hey, look, I'm an instructor, I give fitness, I need to get this done quickly, they would kind of plan you in like a month, or you have to go to a private clinic.
Right.
Normally, they just let you walk for a really long time because you can hold on. Like, you miss a bit of stability, but you can hold on. The problem is the leg gets a lot weaker. So if you tear your ACL today, get surgery tomorrow, your leg will be way stronger than if you tear your ACL today, get surgery in 6 months. So immediately there's a difference post-op.
Can't I keep the strength of my leg going?
You could, so you have to do a lot of prehab, so prehabilitation. So
That's
you do,
amazing
you
word.
do a lot of knee strengthening exercises. The only problem is because you're missing your ACL, you can't load it too much, right? Because you're missing a bit of stability.
Yeah.
So you overburden it really quickly.
All right.
Right? At the same time, because your body knows that there's something wrong with the knee, you tend to initially avoid that leg a bit. That's why you see those legs slimming down in a year, like they just lose muscle.
But if I weren't to avoid you, if I would be sure.
Yeah, if you prehab really hard, but then you're already putting in more effort in training the leg than you were beforehand, right?
Yeah.
So naturally you would retain more muscle, which would mean that post-surgery you would also come out stronger.
All right.
Okay, so that's good, but that's good. That's what they focus on nowadays, prehab. Because the stronger you enter a surgery, the stronger you get out, the quicker your rehab.
Why wouldn't they immediately operate me? It's not an emergency, is that it?
Yeah, so because you can basically live without.
ACL.
Like in essence, if you would be just somebody working at an office, if you blow your ACL, they might not even operate it, depending on your age. Because you can live without. You can walk without, you can walk the stairs without, and you can cycle without.
All right.
You just can't really run or jump or stuff like that because there's just less forces keeping the knee together.
All right. Oh my God, there's part of me that goes isn't there a way that science could further itself so that it just kind of has iron tubes and something in a way that some silicone made stuff that will replace the ACL completely?
Well, I know about a new technique they have for ACL surgeries because the old technique was basically the old technique, which is still I think the most used technique, is they take a piece of the hamstring or your quadriceps tendon, and they kind of fold that and then they drill that into your knee, and that basically becomes your new ACL. But there's a new technique which I've heard about a few times, but I don't think it's widely being used, but they get a kind of spongy material and they get blood plasma and then they inject it into that and that grows a new ACL.
Dude.
And from what I understood, rehab is way shorter with that.
Is it the injection thing, the thing that they do also with a couple of people do it in Mexico. It's allowed in certain countries, but is it stem cells?
No. I don't know for sure.
Because stem cells sound so much fun.
It could be, but I don't think it's necessary. Because your ACL is a certain material, right? And scar tissue, I think it's scar tissue which grows now, comes pretty close, same with the tendon tissue, of the same consistency. So that's why they use the tendon. But I think with the blood plasma thing, the material that grows looks even more alike. But I'm not really sure about that. I should look it up.
Is there a way to fuck it up more if you've already torn your ACL? There's always a way to fuck things up
definitely.
more.
I was about to say, how bad do you want to fuck it up? Because we can fuck up a knee pretty good.
And let's say you're torn. So it's torn, it's separated from each other. Yeah, separated
fully, yeah.
Can you still use the knee and not have... Because you're not going to damage your ACL anymore because it's gone already. Yeah. But you're going to, what other parts of that would be if you keep going, you're going to do irreparable damage?
Yeah, okay. So... your ACL...
I'm specifically talking about the knee in this case because
you fucked up your knee?
No, yeah, I did. There's a fascination with it because I tore the meniscus.
Yeah.
Never did anything about it because the first doctor I went to, he said okay, so we're gonna take one meniscus out of the other knee and then put it into this knee, and I was like, you're doing shit. You're doing crazy shit. Yeah, you're doing crazy shit. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's I've never heard of that kind of surgery. I could talk a lot about meniscus injuries, but that's not really important, I think. Knees are in essence a very simple joint. You just have the meniscus, the ACL and the PCL, so you have the front and the back CL, and then two on the side, and then of course you have the joint itself. But most people fuck up either the ACL or meniscus. Mm-hmm. You asked me earlier, is how much performance do you get back? If you're a good athlete and your rehab is good, it's basically 100%. Yeah, there's NBA players right now, a guy that tore his ACL I think 4 years ago. and he's just playing better than his old level because he was still young, he was still developing. And I think it gets bad once you're at a certain age where your recovery is just less good.
Maybe it's also the work they put into it. They get into
but that's what I said. So if your rehab is really good, right? These guys have physio and personal training like 6 days a week. They have somebody doing their diet. They spend like a lot on it. They get the best doctor.
What's the name of the dude?
The most famous basketball player right now?
Yeah.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. Dude, yeah, he like had a doctor bills of like $2 million a year.
Yeah, like he spends $1 million a year on his body alone.
That's
like
genius.
On massage therapists, physios, training, food.
Yeah,
whatever, everything,
I mean,
right?
He's smart.
Yeah, and if your body is your main source of income, then spending money on that is just investing in your business, basically.
In the future, yeah, that's basically.
And I think it's very smart of him because it's given him a lot of longevity. And
betterment. He just comes back better every single time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The guy is 33, right? No, maybe even older, 34. I'm not sure. Should look that up. But he's playing out of his mind. Like he's
still at the level.
Yeah,
still right there.
Yeah, he's like. That's a prime example of good athlete. Just taking care of everything and just putting his body in optimal position to perform.
Money, it's the cure.
Oh yeah, money is the cure for everything. Oh, yeah.
Money is the cure for everything, man.
I mean, shit. If I had that much money, I'd spend $1 million on my body a year.
Yo, damn.
I'd not be that fit, but
easily.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't spend it on good things too. For if it's from my body, it's probably on. Mostly would be food. Can you eat $1 million a year? Yeah, sure. Sure, man.
Sure.
It'd be caviar for breakfast every day. Shit.
Have you ever had caviar?
I did.
I never had.
It's good. It's different. It's like it's salty fish eggs. It sounds gay as hell, but it's basically that. How can I explain this? There's like these little, you can buy little sweets that are these little kind of balls, and when you eat them, they like pop in your mouth.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but then fish and salt, like constantly. It tastes not as much as people hype it up.
Okay.
Like it's
That's
good.
the most important thing to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with truffles. Once I ate truffles, I ate fake truffles, and it was like, I'm not talking drug truffles.
No, you're talking culinary.
Yeah, the
culinary truffles.
Drug truffles are a different thing, man. You don't not care how they taste. It's like the culinary truffles is more like the fake ones. They taste like gasoline.
Okay.
And the real ones taste like a tasty gasoline way. It has this very specific. This tastes like truffles, and this is truffles. That's its taste, like good tasting gasoline.
Huh.
Like have you ever smelled gasoline and you go like, yeah, I can see how I can get high off of this.
Yeah.
That's
the same thing.
Yeah, it has this nice part of it.
Are you sure you weren't smelling the drug truffles?
Maybe. I'll never know. If somebody comes up to me and says like, these are real truffles you're eating in your food, like bon appetit.
Okay, fine.
Hey, they could be like magic mushrooms, and I'd still go, it's an interesting meal. Nah, man. It's but that was to me, and I get that. Man, if I could spend that much money on my body, it would be amazing.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Oh my god, I'd strengthen every part of my everything. I'd be fit as hell until I'm 90 years old. I mean, I would take care of it like in prehab. I'll be constantly doing prehab. That's something I also have to actually get into the rhythm of actually doing prehab, of actually sitting down. Because what I see, and in a lot of people after a certain time has elapsed in their training, especially jiu-jitsu, because it's such a long training period. I mean, there's no actual physical end to it. People say like, black belt, you get it. And then I was like...
But you can always learn.
That's true. And that's something that only sinks in once you get the black belt, because what happened to your brother with the whole thing of like feeling down and everything like that after they reached the goal, my goal was to be one of the fastest persons to reach black belt. I would do anything for it. I just wanted to get it.
Yeah.
I got it pretty fast. And the thing is the moment I got it, I was sad afterwards. It was like, well, okay, I did it. What now? And then my mind switched to something like, hey, it still continues. You're just starting over, And there's a bunch of other belts I can reach and stuff. But the belts itself lost their significance to me. What did gain in significance to me was the enjoyable part of the drink. The only thing is, I don't know how to make it enjoyable to do prehab. because it's literally just necessity work.
Yeah. I get that it feels that way. That's why.
It feels like homework. It feels like homework.
It feels like homework.
It works. It does give you almost immediate, in my case, a difference, and it's immediate gratification.
Yeah.
It's nice to do once you start, but it feels like homework, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a difficult one. That's why I tend to not only make people feel that it helps them get rid of complaints, but also that it increases your performance, so to speak. Because obviously that's always a part of my work, right? I don't only cure pains, because I don't cure pains. Mm-hmm. I teach you how to better move, so I increase performance. And a lot of people have sport-specific questions about that, right? So I tend to make you kind of feel like you said, oh, I feel stronger, oh, my posture gets better, oh, I can twist, I can turn more.
As we said, you're Pavloving the shit out of me.
Yeah, of course. and I tend to give it in a way in which you can incorporate it really easily.
When I see that bag, that blue bag with water, I already start salivating.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I should start training you with the blue bag.
Oh my god!
Because you'll get really pissed. You'll be like, I hate this blue bag.
For the people that don't know what the blue bag is, it's a elephant penis shaped blue bag full of water, and it works amazing things. It's great.
Yeah, it's a really simple solution to a pretty complex problem.
Because it's really good.
Because a lot of people they the half skippy ball, the Bosu ball.
Yeah.
A lot of people know that one because that's a way of making the bottom part unstable, right? So when you do movements, the bottom part is unstable, and the aqua bag makes the top part unstable.
Oh shit!
So now you can train the same movements with disturbances from different sides. Yeah, and it works great. I really like working with it.
Dude, we haven't worked with it.
We haven't worked with it yet, but we will.
I fucked around with it when you weren't watching. I was like, let me play with this. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is. It feels like you're doing something like that. Then it sounds like fun. Then where the part is when your brother asks you let's go do flips. That just sounds exciting in its whole way.
And that's the way it should be. It should be fun. So
the problem is it gets to a point, my baby, and that's why. But also I'm a different kind of animal. I there's people that can focus and stand with the same. But for example, fitness, bodybuilding is something I can do for exactly 2 weeks in a row, and then I lose complete interest. That's why I went over to strength lifting, because it's always okay, how much can you lift? Which is still a boyish kind of way of doing it.
But it triggers you, and it's nice. It triggers you to kind of do something. And that, I think a lot of people have different ways of enjoying the same thing. And if you find what makes it enjoyable for you, when you do stuff, you will lose interest way less easy, because now it's like you said, every time you go there, you feel like a boy, and you're like, how much can I lift today, right? And for other people, they tend to focus on something else. Some people just like to get tired from training, right? Yeah. They like it when they do this conditional stuff and then are sweating, etc. And if you find what's enjoyable for you, that's like a big thing you gain, a big strength you gain.
That's true.
But
the thing is, that's and this is how a lot of people feel, but they won't say it. That's not my job, that's yours. You're supposed to make the thing you're doing for me enjoyable. Right. And it's not how I think. I know that it's what you're saying is actually the truth. You have to find your own way in what I'm teaching you. Yeah. It's the same way I teach. Yeah. I teach a certain amount of jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And then I this is the spectrum of what we're doing this month or this year, find your niche somewhere in there and just latch onto it and do that. If you love doing a certain specific thing in jiu-jitsu, follow that one path and we'll add all the other stuff to it from what you like. And it's really hard to explain people there's no set of a specific move or a specific thing that you can do that will resolve your problems forever. That's not how life works. But it does feel like how life works, because if I turn on Instagram and there's 100 likes, I'm like, oh yay, I'm satisfied again.
Yeah. That's weird how we got kind of trained to behave and things like that.
So fast.
It's crazy, man.
They went chemical on us. They took all the chemical shit that we like and said all right, here, take it.
That's crazy.
What would you do? What would you do? How would you get the fun part in it? as much as you can. You're already doing it, by the way, but like, is
Yeah.
there room for improvement is the thing that I want to say.
I'm a big believer that there's always room for improvement,
Yeah.
but I'm also a big believer in being satisfied with what you got.
Yes.
And those things are kind of opposite of each other, right? So, and this goes back to the book reading Lego part. I like to solve puzzles. So I like to have a problem
Yeah.
and then just think about it. Don't even need to come up with a solution, but I like to think about it. Why is it a problem? How can we solve it, right?
Yeah.
What were we talking about before? What was your question?
How do we improve the...
Yeah, how do we improve? Yeah. So I tend to look for improvement. But with my trainings, what I found out after training people for a certain amount of time is that I just like being me. And I don't like having to adjust what I do or how I am to make stuff more enjoyable for you. Right? So with the exercises, I try to make the experience enjoyable while the exercises stay the same. So in essence, I'm basically training you to have a good time while you're doing the exercises. So when you do the exercises, you will feel like having a good time. I'm Pavlov training you.
You're Pavlov.
I'm Pavlov training you, 100%.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that is actually it. You can join a lot of good gyms and a lot of good physiotherapists and everything, but if you have a click with that one person, you get much further in it than whatever would happen.
100%.
So it's at the end of the day, it's also about people. It's like if you click with a person, your results will be better. If you're training with somebody you hate personally, you will only go backwards.
Definitely.
You have to have a good time with people.
Yeah.
You have to be a people person with that kind of shit too.
And
I think.
For me, obviously, because it's work, I try to have fun while I work. And if I'm having fun, I try to get you to have fun.
Shit. And we're having fun.
So naturally, we just have a fun time, and then we can do exercises.
Around this whole time. Yeah, man, this is just popping back. So we opened up a conversation that went that way. I think that's done, but I have to go back to the ACL stuff, man. There is the possibility of growing back an ACL. Not growing back, I'm sorry, that after all the therapy, that you will come back to 100%. But that also involves what we said, like on your part, the work. I believe, and I can be right, is it maybe because people are putting in more work on being better, that it actually turns out to be better. So it's not 100% the ACL itself coming back to 100%. It's like you doing all of that effort.
Yes,
and
100%.
And then I don't know, because you see a lot of people coming out of surgery, beasts, animals, better because, and you can say like it's because of the surgery almost. And you see other people just, they just lose it. I mean, is it?
It's so you have to do rehab, right? If you just pop in the ACL but you don't do rehab, you will like your function will worsen. Yeah. If you just do nothing, it will get worse because the knee starts out stiff and it takes a really long time for it kind of to recover from the surgery. And if you don't do anything in the meanwhile, you've just spent 6 months kind of sitting on the couch, right? And if you would sit on the couch without even having surgery on your knee,
then you'll go backwards.
Yeah, so doing nothing is not the solution. But then a lot of people, once they've done the surgery, they're like, okay, I'm going to take this seriously. So they train very hard and they get stronger out of it. But then the question is, if you didn't tear your ACL, would you have been as strong?
That is true.
Right? Because it's like you said, people put in a lot of effort in rehab, specifically athletes.
Yeah. Which comes back to our first conversation before we even started this, the motivation part.
Yeah.
If that is something that happened, we look at things like, oh, I tore something, this is bad for me, but it might actually be, how I say this, a blessing in disguise because you are forced now into a position of no choice. You're forced to either you do it, either you work your ass off, and either you make it better than it was,
or it's over,
or you stay where you are and worsen it.
Yeah, and that's I think the motivation plays a big part. I've done rehab with somebody who didn't fall into the category for getting operated because was somebody that was older.
Yeah.
And but this person had they really wanted to go skiing again. And I've never had somebody put so much effort into rehabbing. Like you could see they wanted it. They just wanted it, and they were coming in training and asking, like, can't we do more often? Can't we go harder? And that person went on to ski again without any problems.
Damn, man.
Well,
and that's basically all knees.
Yeah,
That's all knees.
Exactly. If they can do it, everybody can do it. You just have to put in the effort.
Just have to go for it, man. The motivation part.
Yeah.
There's also a little bit of psychology involved in what you do. A little bit, a lot. I mean, you tricked me into liking it.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm home not doing anything, I'm fucking around on walls and shit, like trying to stretch my back and make it work. Like I might not follow every single like one of the exercises you gave me, but that's the advantage of having trained so long is like I recognize them. I said I recognize the muscles that I'm using, and then I'm going like, oh wait, maybe I can do it like this too, and then I'm fucking around at home with like doing bridges and shit.
And that's the feel.
And that's the thing.
That's the feel. That's what I was talking about. Yeah. So.
Dude, it's the motivation part, and the part of we going like it's a lot of psychology involved too, and actually at the end of the day you're a life coach, a motivational speaker. Motivational speaker.
And I think a lot of jobs like therapist jobs are trending towards that because we're learning more and more that you can't separate the psychological part from the person, from the complaints which somebody is having. So there's more and more research papers coming out that are saying like, okay, so we've known that back complaints and shoulder complaints exist, and sometimes you have actual damage on the shoulder, etc. But always bear in mind that stress, sleep deprivation, bad diets, hypertension, that they play a big part in whether people are perceiving complaints or not. Not even pain, but complaints in general. And the mind is such a crucial part of the body that we should stop seeing them as separate. We're
coming, and this is the feeling I'm having every single time I talk to somebody that is specifically like that is passionate about what they're doing. They go full circle into like the scientific and beautiful part of it. You know, it's very, very much necessary. But if we go too much in that, it separates from the human, and then we have to actually complete this whole scientific little thing and bring it back to the person, and bring it back to what human is and humanity is, and like personality and person and individualism and being good to each other in a way.
Yeah,
you know, definitely. It's like it's a part of the. Yeah, man. That's why I'm happy that you showed up there, you know, and that we immediately hit it off. Like it took us a day.
I think the first time we saw each other, we just like,
this is a cool dude. This is a cool dude. And yeah, man, and that's why I'm happy to have you. It certainly. The most important thing I think you did for me in this whole little game was it didn't immediately change me, like from thinking of being a lazy person that just wants to go into training, not warm up and just fight, because that's what's in me. Like fight and teach and fight. And there's no warm up and there's no stretching and there's no like either you have it or don't, and fuck it, we're fighting, we're men, we don't need this, we'll have a beer before and after. We're not like stretching this for women. Sorry, women of this place. You're very. That what you changed in my mind was you planted the seed, going like you should rehab, and I'm like nah, I shouldn't. I swap it away every single time, but it keeps nagging in the back of my mind. Go like do prehab, do prehab. Yeah.
It's. That's why I try to give very little. Like if I make a whole exercise schedule and if I start explaining all the details.
Oh, we wouldn't be talking right now.
No, exactly. So what I want when I give people exercise and stuff is you gotta make it your own. So you gotta slowly incorporate it kind of into your routine or in your life, etc. You gotta be aware. It's what you said, right? You're stretching at home, you're just twisting and turning. And I do this just by giving you like a tiny amount. And then checking, do you like that? Do you don't like that? How is that? And if it doesn't work, I just think of something else to achieve the same goal. Perfect. And I guess this comes down to making it more enjoyable for you.
At the end of the day, it does. Man, and it is. It makes it enjoyable for you too. If you end up having fun.
I'm having fun. And working with you is great fun.
Oh, fuck, man. Working with you is amazing too. But during those massages, the way you touch me.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever touched me that way.
No, you said that.
Oh, the camera guy's laughing too. That's a good one. Yeah, my man. I think for right now, we'll take a small break and we'll be right back. How do you think about that?
Sure,
Because
yeah.
I see
You
you
want more
touching your
coffee?
coffee.
Yeah.
Me too. We think about way. How do you feel about that, my Aboud? Aboud is our sound guy, camera guy, setup guy. He's the as I said before, he's the beautiful man that makes things beautiful. Not only is he beautiful,
that's
but
an apt
it's
description. Yeah, that's great.
He was put in this world to look stunning and make things look stunning.
Oh, that's
Beauty in the
nice.
eyes of the beholder.
Yeah.
Oh well, man, that is true too, man. I'm gonna do a sponsor bit about him, you know. Abu, thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you for sponsoring
Thank
this.
you. Thank your parents for making you. Thank the country that has birthed you. Thank you everything.
Look, I feel like on the spot, I don't usually get this much compliments.
We'll put you on the podcast.
Okay,
Next
so
person.
you guys
Yeah.
We from Cauliflower Philosophy would like to take a moment and thank our wonderful and beautiful sponsors. First, Mother Nature, for creating the cauliflower, the symbol of our resistance and our unification in this world. Secondly, I would like to thank the people that lend us this space. Pay. It's here in Amsterdam. Wonderful coffee, wonderful atmosphere, just all around peaceful. Thank you from the depths of our hearts. Also, I would like to once again address my candidacy for the presidency of Choke&Chill. That's it. Choke&Chill is just that amazing that I think they deserve me as a president. Exceptional rash guards, exceptional shorts. And that's what I believe in. I believe that rash guards should be strong, that boots should be dirty, that freedom should be free, and that bald eagles should fly over everybody's house every morning at sunrise. Choke&Chill. If you believe in freedom, then you believe in Choke&Chill. I would also like to thank Monkey Tape for keeping things together. Monkey Tape, keeping things together. It's a play on words. You'll get it. Thank you, Monkey Tape. Thank you also to Grip 020. He had made me squat so much that I'm more amphibious now than I have ever been in my life. I'm partially frog man just because of that much squatting and strength training. Thank you, Grip. You're an amazing guy. And that's it. Also, thank you, ATC. If it wasn't for you, this would have never started. We had never known each other, and we had never grown to be this awesomely strong community. The place, a home, outside of our own home. Eat more cauliflowers. Thank you very much.